Music Hall of Fame and Museum. Keith was one of 3 people honored at the medallion ceremony on Sunday evening, October 20th, in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. The other 2 were John Anderson and James Burton. Keith died earlier this year after a long fight with stomach cancer. He was surrounded by family. He was 62 years old. CEO of the Country Music Association, CMA, Sarah Traherne, had said before that Keith had been chosen to be admitted into the Hall of Fame before he died, but the results were not announced until hours after the news of the country legend's death on February 6. Keith was entered into the Country Music Hall of Fame with performances by Post Malone, I'm Just Talkin' About Tonight, Eric Church, Don't Let the Old Man In, Blake Shelton, I Love This Bar and Red Solo Cup, and words from Randy Owen of Alabama. Keith and Koval had been married for almost 40 years when he died. When she spoke at the event in which Keith was admitted into the Hall of Fame, she said, "This is actually the first time I've been able to talk." While she said, "I'm not sure if I can finish it," the speech, she did give a powerful speech that finished with a standing ovation from the crowd. During the comments, her son Stellan Keith Koval joined her on stage. Keith also leaves behind his daughters Shelley Koval Rowland and Crystal Keith, as well as his grandkids. I wish Toby were here so he could help me. It was something he always looked forward to, Koval said as she thanked Owen for recognizing Keith and shared her happiness that Anderson and Burton had been inducted. He did all the things he chose. He worked hard once he set his mind to it. He did almost anything he wanted once he made up his mind. Koval said that her late husband Keith loved writing songs and that his music was so compelling that people knew a man was living those words. She talked about Keith's last show on TV, which was at the first People's Choice Country Awards last year on the famous Grand Ole Opry stage. Keith wrote the song for Clint Eastwood's 2018 movie The Mule, but that night, the song embodied Toby. Koval thought about how dedicated her husband was to the OK Kids Choral's mission to help Oklahoma families whose children are fighting cancer. She talked about how he was always ready to act for the troops and how, publicly, consequences didn't matter to him. It didn't matter what anyone said. He loved his country. He cared about his country. Toby lived a big life and loved deeply. He had fun with everything he did. He never felt bad about anything in his life, Koval said. As his grandchildren called him Pop Pop, he was a great husband, father, grandfather, brother, friend, singer, director, and businessman. He was very good at everything he did his best at everything he set his mind to. He was determined to be the best he could be.